Hey there, all you creepers and reapers. Welcome to another episode of the Femme Fatalities. I'm your co-hostess, Anna, and I'm here with...
Hey, Grief Leads and Fright Leans, it's Margaret, and boy, do we have a fun cast for you. Anna, what movie are we talking about today?
Well, today, in case you're ever wondering if the afterlife is what you read about in a book or closer to something in Beetlejuice, we might have an answer for you. That's right, we're talking about none other than what stays with you even after death. Talent. Dead Talent Society. Now, before we get too far into it, Margaret, I know there are a few triggers.
Yes, lots of blood,
Yes.
gore, disasters, death, car accidents, or suicide, jumping off a building. What else?
Curses, cultures and traditions, rituals. So if you are interested, if you are currently in either of the Americas, North or South, and you're interested in maybe learning of some traditions that are East, this is a great film to watch. A lot of rituals and traditions in relation to and pertaining to the dead, which to us is super fascinating and cool. Um, but yeah, and also I think the whole story of the underdog feelings of not living up to expectation and kind of what that does and how that follows a person throughout their life and after.
So before we get into it, you mentioned Beetlejuice. Which afterlife would you prefer, Dead Talent Society or Beetlejuice?
That's a really good question. So I tend to need like something to do and need to have a purpose. So I'd probably go with Dead Talent Society because in Beetlejuice, the whole underlying joke is that if you complete suicide, you become a civil servant in the afterlife. But if I don't go out that way, like I don't know what I'm going to be doing. Whereas Dead Talent, there's like an assurance that I'll be able to find a job. So at least I'll have something to do. And also, I didn't see any ghost cats or dogs. So, like, if I can't have my furry friends, I'm really going to need something to do. What about you, Margaret?
Oh, I agree. Dead Talent Society, because even if you're not the main haunt, you still get to, like, that's what I loved, like when they were running around and they were like
Mm-hmm.
putting the pictures on the wall or throwing the plates, like it was this whole
Mm-hmm.
team effort,
Yeah.
which was fun and goofy. Like it was like, here's this urban legend, here's what
Mm-hmm.
you know, and here's like the behind the scenes of how this
Oh, yeah.
happens, along with the competition of who
Yes.
is the best haunt.
Like, teamwork makes the dream work, but also, like, very competitive. And I like that. As long as your ancestors and your family still remembers you, you get to like go back and visit every now and then. So that's kind of enjoyable too. Like, keep tabs, see what everybody's up to.
So, which was your favorite urban legend? So, viewers, listeners, this movie plays off of a lot of urban legends. This film is Malaysian, right? I believe yes. And so, yeah, right? Is it
I think
Malaysian?
they were speaking Taiwanese.
Okay, so it's Taiwanese. My mistake.
So, I don't know. I feel like Makoto, we were talking about this before. Makoto is like my favorite because he just loves to sing, and even though like maybe he wasn't super successful at it in life, he still loves it in the afterlife. And I don't know, I kind of almost felt like it would be fun to have some sort of legend surrounding him. Like if you do his song on karaoke, then like all of a sudden you would hear him singing in the background and then you get scared to death or something. But I I feel like a lot of the haunts were very familiar. Like you've heard this one or you've already seen a movie about it. I think for me it would probably be um the girl in red that haunts the mountains. Just cause, I'd be okay if I ran into her. I'd just be like, oh hey, just hiking. See ya. What about what about you?
I liked the rookie Jessicas, right? The
Mm,
ones that were filling in for Jessica's a character who
Yeah.
goes up against our main urban legend hauntress. But I thought hers was clever how it played off of the internet and how she's gonna pop up
Yeah.
like in your space if you watch her video, and how many videos are out there
Mhm.
of that happening.
Yeah, that kind of reminded me of like the movie VHS. Or
Oh yeah.
yeah, like just the concept of it. I felt kind of bad for Catherine. I was like, "Oh, you can't be on top all the time." But
Mm-hmm.
then I was just like, I wonder what actually did happen with her quote unquote true love, because she goes to like see, and then he has a family and all these things. And then I'm like, well, can the children see her? Because, in Western society, a lot of us have ancestors that, have told us when they were alive that children can see the dead. So then I'm like, well, wait, can these kids see her? Like, how do they play in this? Or are they by like someone else he's with now? Or were they her kids? And like all this stuff I wanted to know. Um, but yeah, I just kind of was like, man, I hope she finds some more fulfillment in the afterlife too, because that's my only kind of gripe. Is it seems like is that all that's going on? Like, don't they have anything else to do? Like, you eat and you haunt, but it's like, what else? What else can you be doing? You got to be having some fun.
Yes. Well, it seems like the other ones do have fun. I feel like that's part of it, is that they are having fun and she's so serious, and you
Mm-hmm.
see her wanting to have fun, wanting to break out of her shell and
Yeah,
feeling so closed off and unhappy.
yeah. Like she wants to cut loose, she just doesn't know how. Yeah,
No, she doesn't, sadly.
yeah. Oh,
Did
but
you
it,
have a favorite ghost?
um, I have to say Makoto. I mean, he just, I don't know why. I just really enjoyed him. I think that him, pining away after Catherine was very sweet. Um,
Yes.
yeah, and also like he realizes like, okay, well, I'm too handsome to be a haunt and successful at it, but I'm really like business minded. So he's like making the most out of what he's got. What about you? Who is your favorite?
I really liked him. He was so fun, so sweet. Even was it Mila, who was our main newly ghost's friend, who was just like, "Come on, let's go to
Yeah.
your house. It's your birthday. I'm sure they left you out something. Let's go to my house." And
Yeah.
I just thought she was so sweet and supportive.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I just think with like Jessica, I felt kind of bad because I think most youth have some sort of parental pressure in any culture,
Mm-hmm.
and I just was sad that she didn't have the opportunity to kind of come into her own until being in the afterlife. I was like, "Aw, that's a bummer."
And how, like, this movie really does play off of how our life struggles then transfer
Mhm.
into the afterlife. We're still struggling, we're still
Yeah.
carrying our traumas, our pains, and then how do we find, like, it feels like this movie was about chosen family, especially
Mhm.
at the end where there's this competition between Jessica and Catherine, and whoever loses is gonna completely disappear forever.
Yeah.
And then at the end, we see our little group of haunters. They're like, fuck it, we don't even care anymore. They're
Yeah.
like running down the street all dressed like the
Mhm.
schoolgirl. Or is it like, I hate this life? Just screaming.
It's great. And I think it's a fun movie. Like it's fun to watch. And you're right, like touching on kind of the things that follow us and the traumas that we maybe don't fully work through. I mean, if you think about it, right, if you change the while you're living to pre-adolescence and adolescence and you change the afterlife to adulthood, I mean, there are so many parallels that we could really dissect and run. And the way that this haunt group has come together, they've chosen their family, they've identified their safe friends. Like, how often do we talk about find people that you feel safe to be surrounded with, that will support you and help you and you're comfortable with and you can talk to, right? So they've kind of found that in each other, and that's quite remarkable.
Yes. And it's just a sweet movie. Even I appreciate that, like, we see, like you said in the beginning, other
Mhm.
cultures' death customs. And so we see the offerings and the people remembering and
Yes.
even their pain and
Hmm.
processing the death of a loved one and how the loved one in the afterlife is
Absolutely.
holding on to the pain like Catherine,
Hmm.
or trying to figure it out like our main haunt girl who wasn't satisfied in life, died in a natural disaster, and then
Hmm.
still wasn't satisfied.
Yeah, absolutely. And, talking about traditions and rituals, the food leaving out, right? So I guess we should probably explain that for our listeners. If you're not familiar, a lot of Eastern cultures and traditions and religions incorporate honoring your ancestors. So oftentimes on special holidays, on their birthdays, on sometimes their death anniversary dates, depending on the culture, you leave out a plate of food. And typically it's going to be culturally traditional food as well as foods that they enjoyed while they were alive. You leave that out overnight. There's an altar for the deceased loved one, and then in the morning you throw away the food because obviously you don't want to eat ghost food, or as a living being you're going to get sick. And just one thing to be mindful of too is if you are friends with someone who is, of Eastern origin, or their family is, if you go to their house and there is food sitting out, don't just pick it up and eat it. You need to ask who it's for. Um, that's a very important thing to do. So, I mean, usually when you go to someone's house, you don't just like pick up random food and start eating it. You should hopefully ask first. Of course, I did grow up in the late 1900s, so um, very strict parents when it came to that kind of thing. Us 90s babies, but I would think that most people would ask. But just in case, make sure you do, because it may be for, a spirit and not a flesh and blood living being.
And usually it will be in an altar space. So there'll be a picture of the deceased. There could be incense burning. There could be gifts like we see with Mila's family. Her dad leaves
Mm-hmm.
her purses and cell phone, which is
Mm-hmm.
also really common in a lot of cultures, leaving out things that they can, because the belief is that if they can use it in this life, they can use it in the
Mm-hmm.
afterlife. I know in Vietnam that they actually will have paper ones because that will translate to physical for the ghost
Yeah.
world. So if you watch this movie, you might get curious and you might look into other customs. You might look into your family's customs or things
Mm-hmm.
that have been lost. Like if your family came to the US, maybe what was the old country's traditions that aren't so widely practiced now in the US because of assimilation.
Absolutely. Well, and with that, I have to ask, do you have any traditions that we've been doing a lot of historical cultural films lately? So has that invigorated you to think about maybe some of the cultures and traditions of your ancestors and your heritage? And, is there anything that stands out to you that you have been practicing, or you might give a whirl and see how it goes?
Well, I have my ancestor space with their pictures, and I will leave them out food or make them something depending on what I'm making, especially if it's like a family recipe. I will leave out a vessel of water because some traditions believe that water helps the spirit visit you. Um, and the offerings thing, that is in a lot of cultures. I was
Mhm.
talking the other day with my kiddo, and we were talking about mining lore and history. And the miners used to leave out offerings for the spirits of the deceased miners,
Mhm.
for the Tommy knockers. And so again, that's why it's like, get curious, like what were the beliefs? How do you want to honor your dead? Is it sitting at the gravesite? Is it talking with them? Is it looking for signs from them? How about you?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely are very in touch with the spirit world, I guess you could say, in my family. But yeah, I mean, something that I do, which is something I imagine a lot of people do, when my dad's mother passed away, I was quite young. I was like 17, I think. But my aunt, God bless her, she's like one of the nicest people in the world. I adore her. She let me have my grandmother's jewelry box. And pretty much ever since then, every day I wear a piece of her jewelry. So it's kind of like, and as people have passed away, it just makes me feel like they're hanging out with me all day. Like I've got them with me. And, yeah. And actually, some of my tattoos that I have are very much an homage to my father's family and other relatives that have passed away. So, yeah, if somebody dies, just go get tattooed. Um, but yeah, it's really interesting to kind of look back and see, like obviously, Day of the Dead, All Saints Day, they fall both on the 1st of November. So those are very big days in my family as well. And midnight at Halloween, man, that is where it's at. You probably will know where to find me at midnight on Halloween. But yeah, it's really cool. And I think the nice thing is that even though the traditions and behaviors and rituals might be different, the idea that so many of us out here are doing things to honor our dead loved ones and our ancestors, it's, to me, it sounds very communal. It makes me feel like even though it's not talked about like as widely as it should be and as commonly as it should, like we all really have this huge sense of community without realizing it.
And bringing that back, I recently did a training with Linda Ty about decolonized attachment theory. And in that, she talks about part of the problem here in the United States is the ways that we are detached from our ancestors, from nature, from time. And I feel like you touch on that beautifully, that especially again here in the US, we are detached from our ancestors. We aren't often taught an ancestral practice and ancestral worship and how we can connect with community and others when we share what we do. We talk about our ancestors, we connect with them. And I also, in this training, ancestors weren't just bloodline. They could be professional, they could be social activists, people that came before you that have passed, that have influenced your life. And so then again, how do you honor them? How do you connect with them? And then how do you share that so that you do feel fuller? Because I feel like you also, again, touch on that, the connection we not only feel to our past, to
Yeah.
ancestors, to other people when we sit around and you shared stories about your jewelry box and wearing the jewelry and all of that, that this is ways we connect with people.
Absolutely. Well, and it's like everyone connects differently too, and that's what's so beautiful about it is you're connecting. It's something that's unique to you. It's something that's familiar to you. It's something that works for you. And one, if you're listening and you are grieving or you've been thinking about how do I honor a loved one or someone that I looked up to or a mentor that has passed away, do what feels comfortable for you. There's no right or wrong way to kind of make meaning out of this new relationship with this person. Just because, they're out of their body shell doesn't mean they're not around anymore, at least to my belief system. And, even if you may not believe that there is a solar spirit, you can still honor what they did when they were alive, right? And how that helped you. And that's also going to influence and allow you to help other people, right? And so eventually they'll be honoring you. And that's a really cool way to think about how it comes full circle, kind of no matter what maybe your afterlife or religious beliefs might be. I mean, it's just, you got to keep passing it on.
I love that. And I feel like you touch on, so as the thanatologist, we learn all kinds of theories about grief and how to process grief. And a lot of the theories, their stages, their steps are very similar. And you touch on that continuing bonds, which to me, I don't know about you, I always felt like one of the most important pieces of grief work. And if you look at it, if you open a thanatology book,
Yeah.
it often will seem like do, 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 do. I don't know about you, but in my practice and working with people,
So
I'm always like continuing bonds of starting at the beginning. As soon
mhm.
as you have lost a loved one or whatever happened, we are looking at those continuing bonds as a thread to pull us through. And I share that too because people are grieving. They're like, I'm at acknowledge your loss. Then I'm moving into
Mhm.
this. That
Yeah.
continuing bonds feels like the thread through all of it
Mhm.
as you're moving through these
Yeah.
different steps or stages that can,
Mhm.
they're fluid. There is some linearness to them, not necessarily. Because I feel like people listening are like, oh, if I'm here, then I'm going here. Eh,
Mm-mm.
maybe it
No.
depends on your grief.
Yeah. I mean, grief is like any other experience in life. It's unique to each individual, and you know, even though there might be some suggested theories, as Margaret mentioned, some suggested ways and ideas, it's definitely more like a roller coaster than, you know, just a flat little ride somewhere. So, you know, if you feel like you're going uphill and then all of a sudden you hit a gully, that's pretty normal. That's not strange. I think most of us that have gone through grief also kind of got to the point where we thought we were going crazy. That's normal too. The big thing is really to make sure that you do have support out there, that you really look into, okay, I'm grieving, maybe I'm feeling this, what what should I make of this? Because it is really hard when you're going through it, you're keeping it to yourself or you feel alone, because then you really start to question everything, and that makes it way more difficult. So at the risk of sounding like a broken record, maybe that would be my urban legend, the woman that was the broken record. You know, make sure you have safe friends, supports, and services that are working for you and helping you navigate the process, because that it truly is imperative to navigating grief and change and loss. I mean, life is full of all sorts of things, some positive, some negative, but we got to have support to get through all of them.
And thank you for reminding our viewers and listeners. And to piggyback on that, so often in grief, we feel alone and we feel forgotten. And I feel like this movie touches on that as we see our main character, she's feeling forgotten by her family. And it's not that we're forgotten, it's that grief makes us like burn victims. And so the people in
Mhm.
our world get really scared. They don't want to touch us, they don't want to hurt us, they don't want to upset us.
Mhm.
So they keep going with life and they're not checking in because they're afraid if they check
Yeah.
in, there's going to cause pain. And then we as the grievers are internalize that as nobody cares, nobody's checking up on me, nobody wants to know how I'm doing, everybody knows it's the death anniversary of so and so. Maybe true, and they're like, shit, do I check on Margaret? I don't want to make this day any harder on
Yeah.
her, so I'll just be like, hey, have a great day. And then I'm
Mhm.
here internalizing it. You get to say, oh, thanks, today's a really hard day,
Mhm.
do you have space, I'm really
Yeah.
struggling. Reach out, because people
Mhm.
don't, again, they're like, you're burnt, so we have to like, I know I'm
Mhm.
burnt and I need this. It's really
Yeah.
hard. People do not like this disconnect that happens to say, I'm hurt, help me. We want to be like, can't you see that I'm hurt, help me? And it's like, yeah.
Yeah. And it is really, it's very hard. And I think that there's this whole other expectation as a grieving person that you are just supposed to continue on your normal every day to day kind of tasks. And, you know, your analogy of kind of being burnt, it's like you have these gaping wounds everywhere, but you're the only one that can see or feel them. And it is very painful. Something that has been immensely helpful to me, that hopefully is helpful to at least one person listening, over the years, my safe friends and I have gotten to a point where we can tell each other, this is going on. I'm struggling. I'm having a hard time. May I share this with you? So it's up to all of us. I think sometimes as someone who is very much into this world of grief and a thanatologist, I'm kind of that friend that's like, are you okay? Are you sure you're okay? Do you need anything? How about now? And that can become very redundant too. So sometimes evolving into some sort of new communication method with your safe friends, with your safe family can be really helpful too. And I can say with my particular group, it just evolved naturally over time, which was really a beautiful, special thing. I think we're very fortunate for that. But, and once again, what it might look like for me might not be what it looks like for another person, but it's what's comfortable. And that's really important to keep in mind.
Yes, yes. Oh, I'm so glad that you have that. And thank you for sharing. And if you don't have what Anna has, you still get to create that or find what works. We can even be like, I'm checking in. I don't have the capacity for everything, and I still want to check in. That can be big. It's like if I have a flat tire and somebody pulls over, they're like, I don't have anything to support you. I just wanted to say, are you okay? And I see you. That can be valuable too. So don't discredit so often. Right. And I know I used to be guilty of that. Oh, Anna's going through something hard and I want to be there to support her. And if I can't support her 100% in the way she wants me to support her, then I better not reach out because I can't do that. And I don't have to tell her no. Then, hey, I wanted to check in. I don't have
Yeah.
anything to offer. Then Anna can be like, great, thank you so much. And then she knows she can go to somebody else that has what she needs so that, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, and if you're not sure that you have what someone might need, say, what does this look like for you? How can I help you? Like, what do you need? And if maybe it's not something that you're able to provide, like, be honest, and maybe you can help them figure out someone who can or something that can. And that's okay too. And I mean, quite frankly, there are days where my closest family and friends, we have such candor with each other that I'll be like, oh man, I'm having a really bad day because XYZ. And somebody might come back and be like, I don't have time for your nonsense today. Like, I love you, but I have enough on my plate. Like, you need to maybe talk to somebody else about this. You know what I mean? And that's okay too. Like, um, I
It
say
comes from a
that
place of love, right? Like if I
it
tell you
does.
I
Yeah.
can't, I'm saying I love you.
Yeah.
I don't have what you need, so then you can go get what you need
Absolutely. Yeah,
elsewhere.
exactly. And it's very helpful. And, I think so much we're so indoctrinated with this idea of, especially, I would say, being female facing, you have to be nice, you have to be quiet, don't make a ruckus, don't make a noise, that it makes it more difficult. And I think also for masculine facing persons, you got to be tough, don't show emotion. There's a lot of pressure on all ends for that. But at the end of the day, like, this is your life. This is it. Today is what you have. Yesterday is done and over with. You don't know if tomorrow is going to come or go. So make the most out of today and do what you need to do for yourself. And if you're in a position and able to, do what you can for someone else. Because this is it. This is all any of us have.
Yes. Ooh, thank you. Thank you. So, who do you most relate to in this movie?
Even though I love Makoto, I
I
hate
really
to
thought you
admit,
were going to say him.
I want to be best friends with him, but um I, as much as I don't want to admit it, I do relate to Catherine the OG. Um yeah, I
It's
I think for me,
awesome. I
she's
loved.
cool and she's great. I think, like, in the workplace, sometimes I tend to exhibit a very large amount of professionalism, and can be very deadpan, and I saw a lot of myself in her. But then when she finally like let herself go a little bit, it was good. So I was like, okay, go girl, I'm rooting for you. But
Yeah.
yeah, how about you?
Ooh. Either somebody on the support team or Mila. I feel like at my
She
core,
was,
I am just that goofy friend that's like, come on, let's go to your house, let's get some food. Let's go see what
she
my
was
family
cool.
is up to.
Yeah. She just was like, let's have fun, let's enjoy it, and that's good and very enjoyable. And yeah, I think Catherine, she took herself way too seriously, and
Yes.
um that we all have our not so positive personality traits, and definitely very aligned there with her. So, but
Yeah,
that's
and that's one
okay.
thing I loved about this movie, because we watch movies where like nobody's relatable. I feel like this movie,
Yeah.
each character, you could be like, I've
Mhm.
been that person, I've been that
Yeah.
person, I've been there. And that is one reason I think I loved this movie
Yeah.
so much, is because each
Mhm.
character you could relate to, and that just made it feel that
Mhm.
much better than like when we watch movies and we're both like,
I'm
I
just
don't
like,
know, one of the
ugh.
trees.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, and I do want to ask you, what would your haunt be?
Ooh, what would my haunt be? You tell me what your haunt would be, and then I will think while you're sharing.
Okay. So originally it was just going to be one, but since we were talking and I mentioned I tend to sound like a broken record, I think that I would want to haunt a house that was very retro, like a Frank Lloyd Wright inspired home that had like all sorts of just furnishings and appliances and like kitsch from like between like the 1920s to like the 1960s, because I love like a lot of those aesthetics. I love like deco and mod and all of those sorts of things, like Eames. And there would be a record player. And at night, when someone sat down by the fireplace, the record player would start singing, and it would it would play "Hello, my baby," "Hello, my darling," "Hello, my gal." And then when they go to get up and turn the record player off, there's like motivational quotes written in blood, and I'm just like, "Hi." But I could have like such an excitement, right? Because I want to scare them, but I also want to be like, hey, you got this. Like, you came up for a work retreat. I know that you can finish that TPS report. Here's a nice little message in blood. And like, I would even put out like one of those Mr. Clean scrubbers so that like they could clean it up really easily. I would be like the considerate ghost.
I love that.
Thank
Yes.
you. Well, what you? What's your haunt? Where are
I
you going to
don't
be? What are you think about? What are you going to do? What are you going to wear? Like, this is like an award ceremony event that you get to do every night or every day.
Ooh. I think I would be that ghost that would pop up in people's pictures, because I love photography. So I think
Mhm.
it would be like really fun just as someone's like, oh, I'm taking a cool picture of a flower. And then, oh my gosh, what is this? And yeah, I think I'd be a bit on the dramatic side, because I'm
I
pretty
like it.
subdued. I mean, I have a dramatic side. People that know me in my daily life would say I'm dramatic. It's all that fire energy in my astrology. So maybe I'd wear a big, like, Victorian morning dress with the veil, and I would just go places and be places and
Mhm.
freak people out. Just be quiet. People like, oh my gosh, do you see that? And then they just make up stories about me because my clothes would not fit the era that I came from. So
Mhm.
maybe I'd be in a Victorian dress, like scrolling a cell phone or something. They'd be like, wait, what?
Yeah, like confuse them.
Yes.
I love it. Although, if you do the photograph thing, I could see like someone would be like, click, and then they'd look and they'd be like, is that a bird? Is that a bumblebee? No, it's Margaret. And it would be like, oh, like when you get like the haunt award of the year. That's exactly what they would say, like leading up to giving it to you. Oh
Ooh.
my gosh.
So now we know where to look for each other when we're gone.
Yes, exactly. I'll be on the lookout when I take pictures and also just randomly for someone in Victorian gear on the phone. And
Yes.
of course, if you hear that song playing, you'll be like, she's here. She's here.
I have a record player. Or if I
Yeah.
see motivational quotes that are
Hmm.
spookily written, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. But just be careful because I'm kind of like a jerk too. So, like, my loved ones that are still living, I would leave like a little message, be like, hey, love you, miss you, see you next week. And then they'd be like, what? Because obviously, but a bunch. So
I
then they'd
think
be
I
like,
shared
wish.
in a previous cast. I made a playlist, right? Songs for the afterlife or
Mhm.
at the after party
Yeah.
to be played after I die. I have the song from Silence on the Lambs on there when he's dancing, just for my loved one to be like, no, she didn't. No,
Yes.
she did. Oh, she. Just because I'm like, they'll get it. Like, oh my God. Other people are like, this is a weird song to play. They won't get it. They're like, this is Silence of the Lambs.
I think that's perfect.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Well, hey, if you are listening and you have seen this movie, how would you haunt? What is your ideal
Yes.
ghosty life? Please tell us. And also, if you are into this film and similar films, suggest some stuff for us to check out. I think that this movie was a blast. Lots and lots of fun. Really just cute, feel good, little bit of blood, so great for a horror fan. But at the end of the day, this was more of like a warm cuddly for me. What about you?
Yes.
Yes.
This is a
So
feel good. This goes into feel good horror. It's fun. I love it. Yes, listeners, how would you haunt? What was your favorite haunt or urban legend in this movie? And what other movies should we check out?
absolutely. So if you're looking for cold dead bodies with warm heartfelt fuzzies, check out Dead Talent Society. And until next time, make
Yes.
sure that you drink your coffin coffee and your bruja brew, eat those little creepy cookies, and howl at the moon. So until next time, we'll see
Yes.
ya.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow. Thanks for watching and listening.
Bye.